Hi, welcome to Naresh IT and this is Kumar. So today we are going to discussing one of the database or JDBC tuning concept, that is batch processing. Batch processing, or we can also call it as batch updates, is one of the JDBC content and one of the JDBC topic. What is the purpose of this topic, or what is the use of this batch processing? Generally batch processing used for tuning, it's nothing but improving the performances. We have already some performance improvement topics. Prepared statement, improving the performances, and callable statement, also improving the performances. Like that, the batch updates also improving the performances of our JDBC applications. So what is batch updates and how to work with? Today we will discuss those things. Batch processing. So first of all, what is batch? A batch is a group of queries sent to database at a time for execution operations. Group of queries sending to database at a time for execution operations. Sending that group of queries at a time, that is called as batch, and that all the queries are processing one by one in the database and sending the results at a time to your application. So this type of approaches is called as the batch processing. First of all, what is the need to follow what is the need to implement the batch processing, and see without batch processing what is the problem available, after batch processing how the problem is overcoming. So first I will show the situation without batch processing. This is our Java application and this is our database. So I am sending some queries, back to back queries. Back to back means sequentially or one by one we are sending the queries. So by using either statement or prepared statement. First I am sending one query. The query goes and processing here, with the result we are coming back. Next immediately I need one more query. Again I am using the statement, sending the query to database, processing and coming back. Like that, one more query, sending to database, processing the query and coming back. So three queries. What are these three queries, sir? Maybe three queries are insert, or maybe three queries are update, or maybe three queries are delete, or one insert command, one update command, one delete command. So which queries you are sending, that is not matter, three queries, and three times we are traveling to database and we are coming back to the Java application three times. So this is first query, executing, come back. Second query, execute, come back. So this is query number 1 and this is query number 2. And this is query number 3. What happens now, sir? For executing of 3 queries, we are traveling 3 times. For every operation, it takes the 1 millisecond of time, and the total time is required is 3 milliseconds. So moving to the database, coming back to the application. Again moving to the database, coming back to the application. Like that, 3 queries in the sequence, in the row, we are sending to database and coming back also. For every journey 1 second or 1 millisecond if you take averagely, for finishing of this task we need the 3 milliseconds of time. So like that, if I send the 100 queries one by one, 100 milliseconds of time is required. So instead of moving the 100 times to database, is it possible to send at a time all the queries to database? Yes, if it is possible, number of journeys are going to reducing. The journey is nothing but round the trips over the network. So client machine to database server. Client machine to database server, if you want to move it, you should travel in the over the network. So client machine, take the networking support and travel to the database. Again coming back to the client machine. This is operation. So here not only performance, and it is also increasing some traffic on the networking also. Networking traffic in the sense, the more data is going to traveling continuously. Some networking is feeling some burden also here. So burden secondary, primary is this one. How can eliminate this process, sir? Change like this. Same application and the same database also. What I am doing here, instead of this procedure, some different process I am going to following. So first I am preparing my query Q1 and not sending immediately to the database. Here what happens, whenever the query is preparation done, immediately we are sending. So one query is not waiting for the another query. No query is going to waiting for the another query. Every query is going to executing individually only. Query 1 submitted separately, query 2 submitted separately, and query 3 submitted separately. But in this process what happens? I am not sending the query to database. Then what we are doing, sir? This query we are storing into first one local object. Who is this object, sir? Either ST or PST. This query we are storing into our local object first. That object is either ST or PST. Our choice. Anything you can take it. Next, prepare the second query, store into this one. Prepare the third query, store into this one. Like that, any number of queries, store into all these queries into this object. So see this one, here query design send it, and here query design and stored in the buffer. The buffer is our str PST object. So after collecting and storing all these queries in this object, what we are doing next, sir? We are sending this object at a time to database. How many objects we are sending, sir? Only one object. That one object contains how many queries inside? N queries is 7. But n times we are not sending. That object we are throwing like this. Inside that object, what are the queries you have stored up to now here? That all the queries are sending at a time to database. So when you throw this circle to database, all these queries also passing. Now database is receiving all that queries, processing one by one with all the results. Again we are coming back to the application. How many queries you send it to database, with that number of results we are coming back to the application. And it is database is giving all the results individually only. We don't have any that problem. So 4 queries or 3 queries. 3 queries running the database individually. 3 results generated. That all the 3 results database returns to your front end application in the form of a single dimension array. Why array, sir? 3 queries we send it, 3 results is comes, 3 ones or 3 zeros, or some are the zeros and some are the ones. Individually each and every query value individually it is returning. Is it necessary to get the query values individually, sir? Compulsory. Reason, for example 3 queries are sent to database, 3 are success, and every query is returning the 1. So total 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. If database is returns the 3 count to a Java application, you will getting some problem also. Why the problem, sir? It is summing all the results of the query and the sum is going to returns to application. So that case, which query is success, which query is failure, it is a problem to identify that one. Compulsory problem is comes. Overally summing the results of all the queries and returning as a single value to Java application, no programmer is going to identifying which query is success and which query is failure. So we should get all the results compulsory individually only. Then only every programmer is identifying, oh, first query success, second query success, third query success, fourth query failure. Where the zeros is comes, that all the queries are unsuccess. Where the positive number is available 1, 2, 3, 4 something, those all the queries are successfully applied on the database. That operation is happens here. So that's why it returns all the values in the individually. Query operation success. How many times we travel to database here, sir? One time we travel. So how much time is required? 1 millisecond. And total is also 1 millisecond only. For running of n queries, we travel to database only once and coming back also only once. So the total time required is only 1 millisecond. But here 10 queries if you want to execute it, you should travel to 10 times and come back to 10 times. So 10 milliseconds, here 1 milliseconds. Here if I want to execute the 100 queries, 100 milliseconds, but here, sir, 1 millisecond only. So this process is reducing the time taken in the form of traveling operations, the journey operations. So here all these queries placing into one object, this object is sending to the database. Now who is this object, sir? This object is called as encapsulated product. What is encapsulation suddenly here, sir? Nothing else, all the queries we are placing inside that one. Encapsulation is nothing but collecting of individual things and placing under one roof. So this is an encapsulated query of operations, and this circle is becomes an object, and that object is called as the batch. That object is becomes as a batch. What is this process, sir? A group of queries we are running at a time and we are sending to database at a time, then it is becomes as a batch processing. Processing a number of queries in the single traveling operations. This is our regular statement and prepared statement objects, sir. Yes, regularly what we are using in our JDBC, the same objects this, but utilization style is different. One object, as per the requirement, we can change the attitude of that object. So, single object is created, the single object as per the need of a user or programmer, we can use that object in the different ways. So, previous cases statement used for this purpose and here statement is used for this purpose. So, what happens here, sir? Finally, the time saving process and reducing the burden on the networking systems, networking also, because number of times not traveling now. So, one time traveling, automatically network system burden reducing, and our point of view time saving also. So, changing these type of programs into program, increasing the performances of our JDBC applications and handling all these queries in the single shot, it is called as batch processing operation. This is the batch group of queries and sending these queries to this one, processing, coming back, it is called as batch processing. The definition and the purpose. So, why we are shifting to the batch processing instead of regular statement operations, regular prepared statement operations means this is the result. And while working with this batch processing, we should follow a lot of precautions also. A different working style is there and we have different methods also. Regular methods we are not going to using here. Regular methods means generally here what are the methods we are using, execute update, execute query, those we are not using here. Batch processing methods separately available, and while working with batch processing some queries we cannot place also in our batches. We will discuss the one by one point. So, first I highlighted the purpose of the batch processing. Next comes to this one, and this is I am saying this object is called as the batch. So, in this object or in this batch we can place any number of queries here. Queries wise there is no restriction count wise, but type of queries wise we have the restriction. So, in that group except the select command we can place anything. Batch processing or the batch is not allows any select queries. By mistake if I place the select command inside the batch, sir, what happens? It throws a runtime exception, batch update exception is comes. Throwing compilation success, but while executing of the program we will get the batch update exception. So, point number 1, the batch is allows only non-selecting queries. Any number of insert commands, any number of update commands, any number of delete commands, or you can place DDL commands also. Place the create table command, drop table commands also we can place, no objection, but select is not allows. This is point number 1. Next one, all these queries compulsory belongs to same table only. No, not necessary. We can place the queries belongs to any number of tables also. Why multiple tables are allowing, sir? Simple thing, when you are developing the project enter the database, we are not placing in single table. No? Some data available in one table, some data available in another table. Project they requires the n number of tables. Entire the project running on the single database table, very rare cases it happens. Most of the cases every project contains or requires multiple database tables, multiple database objects also. So, all these queries no need to maintain same queries, and all these queries no need to implement on the same table also. Some queries on employee table, no problem. Some queries on department table, no problem. Some queries on the payslip table, no problem. Some queries on the projects table, no problem. An employee database management system are required. Employee database management system contains employees information, departments information, projects information, payslips information, leaves information, etc., etc. So, you can develop the queries belongs to all this table and place that queries in this batch. Next, all these tables should be present in the same user only. No need here. Some tables available in our current working user and some tables we can place in the another user also. Yes, it is supports that one, no problem. But if you want to access other users tables, you should get permissions from that one. But actually in the top of the JDBC program, we are writing the driver manager dot get connection of database URL, username, scar to password tiger. Yes, the beginning of the JDBC application, you are connecting to certain user. If this user is having permissions to access the other user's data, then you can access it, no problem. How can access that other user's data, sir? By using the schema name. While writing of the insert command, while writing of the update commands, you can write the schema dot table name, schema dot table name, schema dot table name. Insert into some Rama dot employee table. Insert into some Bhima dot sum table. You can access like that. So rule is one, that is select commands not allows. Rest of all are suggestions, what type of queries we can place, what type of queries we cannot place, and what type of queries we can place it. Select command not allowed. Insert command means DML commands, DDL commands are allows. Any type of DML commands you can place, and that all the commands belongs to any table, maybe same table or different table, or all the tables present in the same user or different users. Different users you should maintain the permissions. This is the precautions or the rules follow while working of this batch processing. And how to create these objects, sir? That is our routine style here, nothing special. How we are creating the statements object, how we are creating the prepared statement object, in the same manner we can create it. There is no special. Methods list is changing, but object creation is a normal process only. See here I am showing the object creation process. I wrote it some shortcuts names here, try to adjust. Statement st equals to con dot create statement bracket semicolon, and prepared statement pst equals to con dot prepared statement followed by query. This is statement object creation and this is prepared statement object creation. Statement object is blank, prepared statement object is initialized with some query. So what is these two, sir? These two is our batch processing object. The statement is this one and the prepared statement is that one. So this object, how to create, that I am showing here. Object is this one, this object creation process is this one. So if you remember previously statement and prepared statements, it is a routine style, nothing special. But you are saying that it's a special topic, batch processing, sir. Object creation normal here, handling of the object different. Object creations there is no changes. So finally objects ready, an empty object, first one. Second object is already pre-compiled query is available. How to perform the batch processing here, sir? So first decide what are the queries you want to execute it, and all that queries into the st object. How can add it, sir? For that you have one method also, public void add batch followed by query. This is the first method provided by the statement. First I am showing the statement methods. Public method, return type is nothing, method name is add batch and it takes one query as an argument. What is the use of this method, sir? Placing all these queries inside this object. Compared to our collections, how we are adding the elements to the collections or how we are going to placing the items in our collection object, queries also we are placing inside our statement object like that only. And moreover here also collection is available. Where it is, sir? Directly we are not using here, but indirectly statement object using internally a collection object also. How, sir? This method we are using for adding of the query into this st. The process is comes like this. Example, as per this method these are the examples. st dot add batch followed by q1, q2 and q3. 3 queries we placed and all the 3 queries are storing in st. Like that I can place the 300 queries also. But how 300 queries are going to storing in the same object? Normal object 300 values or 300 queries. Every query is a one string value. 300 queries, there is no limit, 300, 400, 500 you can send it. They are ready to store that one. So whenever you are sending the queries, it is allowing that one without having any size restrictions. How it is possible, sir? Every statement object in batch processing, they uses internally a list object. What is that list, sir? It is one type of collection object. One type of collection object. They uses internally for organizing of all these queries. So this code is what I explained here, this one. Queries we are placing into the object. This placing of the objects is, this is the process. Next one, sir. Placing is completed. I want to run all these queries. So send to database. How we can send these all the queries as a group wise to database? For that you have the one method also. This is the second method for the batch processing operations. Public method, return type is integer array, method name is execute batch, and it throws a batch update exception. Why it is throwing the batch update exception, sir? That is our rule. Batches not allows the select queries. By mistake, if you place any select query in this process, while executing of that one, they throws this exception. This is the syntax. And how to utilize this one, sir? This is the utilization process. st dot execute batch, return type integer array, so I am trying to catch that count also here. st dot execute batch, execute the batch. Who is that batch, sir? This is the batch. What are the queries you placed up to now? All these queries sending to database like this and running all the queries also, that all the queries results is written back to your application, and that result we are storing into the your C array. A single dimension array, C array is going to storing. So this method is doing this one. This is execute batch method. Send it, running all the queries, returning back. While returning back, what we are carrying, sir? An integer count we are carrying here. That integer count, it comes and shows into this one, array count. So process this one. For traveling from this one to this one, this method is helping. Traveling from here to here, this is the method helping. For creating of this batch, the first method is helping. First method is creating the batch. Second method is helping from traveling application to database and come back to the application. Every method is playing one role. So all the queries results comes in and stores into this C array. So how the database is going to processing the queries, sir? Which query is running very first, which query is running next? That depends upon our queries placing. Always all these queries are executed in the process of LIFO operations. All these queries are going to executing in the process of FIFO operations. First in, first out operation. Nothing but an the first added query is going to processing in database very first. Second added query is processing in the database very next. So which order we added the queries here, that same order it is going to running in the database. It's not going to changing anywhere the order. Why it is not changing the order, sir? By mistake the database changing the order of execution of queries. As a programmer, we are getting compulsory trouble. Reasons are, database in which order they executed the queries, results of that queries returning in the same order. Execution order of the queries, returning results of the queries same. So what are the query orders sent by the programmer? That order database changing itself and returning the results as per the changing order. Now we are getting the confusion. And the queries order changing or not, if you don't know any idea, you are feeling wrongly also. So one query result goes to another query results goes to another query. A misunderstanding is going on. We are not getting the proper meanings of the which query process success, which query failure. That's why batch creation to batch destroying process. In the middle of the journey, anywhere the queries order not going to changing. First added query is executing very first, and first executed query result is returns very first also. And in this array also, in first cell which query result is available, sir? First executed. Who is that first executed, sir? First added. So first query result available in the 0th cell, second query result available in the first cell, third query result is available in the second cell. Like that, how many queries you send it, that all the results are comes to here. This is execution of the batch and this is adding of the batch. And this method is common for the both statement and prepared statement. But this method is changing for the statement and prepared statement operation. Because prepared statement dynamic querying, already query initialized enough, so we cannot send the query here. But sending order for the both operations is same only. Creating batch, executing batch. Now my batch processing completed. I want to remove that all the queries what I added in the ST, sir. Actually it's not necessary, but if you want to clean it, for that you have the special method also. The method is this one, public void clear batch. What this method is doing, sir? Just before calling of this method, what are the queries you placed in the statement object or prepared statement object, that all the queries are going to removing from the object. Now object is becomes empty. It's not necessary here. At the time of your application closing or block closing, the queries all going to deleting also. So manually, if you are interested to clean up all the queries, then go for this one, but it's not must, and these are all the must. Then what about the prepared statements, sir? A small changes comes here. This is static batch processing, and prepared statement we have the small change. Binding operations required and then adding of the batch is required. But prepared statement or statement execution operations are the same only. So these are the three methods are supplied by the statement and prepared statement. Methods names are common for the both concepts. Statement, prepared statement, both providing the same methods with the same name, but small changes, signatures difference. Statement methods signature available, prepared statement methods signatures not available generally. So these regular execution programs we can change to like that. Then the resultant operation is the time saving operations it will comes. And one more small note also here, whenever you want to execute the queries back to back, then only the batch processing is useful, otherwise it is not useful. The top of the program I want to run one query, middle of the program I want to run one query, almost to bottom of the program I want to run one more query, and these queries I want to place and execute in the batch, sir. I think it's not right thing, you are unable to get the proper results, because top of the query program if I want to execute one query means based on this result balance code is depending. So this query if you run along with these queries, sir, the bottom or middle of the code is going to executing not possible. So back to back, like as in our cricket back to back boundaries, back to back sixes, how it is available, like that back to back queries, first query and next statement immediately query and next line again immediately query, like that I want to run a group of queries in the sequence order, then only we can go for this one. So random positions queries are available, that case batch updates is not preferable process. So you should go for in that case this routine operations only. This is the batch operations and the batch operations methods. It's one of the JDBC applications performance tuning operations. Tuning is nothing but an improving the performances. As a third tuning operation. First one prepared statement, second one callable statement, and third one this. When you are using these all the topics in our JDBC programming, applications running a little bit more effectively and more speedily also compared to regular programming style. Thanks for watching of this video. For more videos, please subscribe to www.youtube.com/NareshIT. Thank you.